The Hugh Jackman Diaries.
Now I think of it, I'm glad the Academy got Franco and that Attaway chick, whatever her name is, to host. It meant there were double the number of change rooms in which I could entertain myself during the broadcast. I won't go into detail, but let's just say Attaway shouldn't leave her purse lying around if she didn't want her credit card buying some platinum level memberships to some of the gnarliest porn sites out of Eastern Europe. And as for what I did to that three-piece suit laid out on Franco's dresser, well, no big deal. It was brown anyway. Over by the buffet, I saw Jesse Eisenberg chatting with Annette Benning. I moseyed over. He was talking about some lameoid script he was reading. Reading? Give me a break. What is this? School? Reading's for children. A minute later, and he wasn't talking about reading. He was onto a subject far more up my alley. The subject? Being in a headlock. Subheading? "Oh, let me go, I can't breathe." I pulled him to the ground, sat in his face and said, "Facebook this, Poindexter," and let one rip. Then I heard a voice. It said it was time to go on stage, Mr Jackman, to present the award for Best Original Score. I let Eisenberg go. He asked what the hell is the matter with me. I got up and high-fived Annette Benning in the side of her head, then strutted toward the stage entrance. On my way, I high-fived Attaway on the side of her head. Then I stopped, took a step back, and high-fived the back of her head. About to step onto the stage with me co-presenter Nicole Kidman, I took a swig of chartreuse from my hip flask. It went down the wrong way. I choked, spluttered, then coughed it up through my nose, along with most of that pack of shredded cheese I'd had for lunch. I wiped it all up with Nicole's dress. She started to cry. I wiped away the tears, also with her dress. I stepped onto the stage, all smiles. We presented the award for Best Score to Trent Reznor. What a chump. Everyone knows that Children of Bodom should have scored that film. And every film. The Scandinavian Metal Redux version of the King's Speech I've been working on is going to blow minds. So with the award for Best Original Score out of the way, everyone had only one thing left on their minds. After parties. Let's blow this joint, I said to myself, at the top of my voice, into the microphone, wired to the main PA. Scorsese grabbed the mic off me and told me to settle down. I said, "Sorry Marty, but I ain't one of you good fellas," and grabbed his wallet and threw it into the punch, then ran out into the car park. Meg White was still passed out in her 1986 Nissan Bluebird. I woke her up. She asked if it was party time. I said, "No, it's after party time." She said, "The usual place?" I said, "Of course." There was only one after party worth going to each year. Alicia Silverstone's. Alicia threw my kind of party, the type that didn't require an invite. Alicia's place was just as I remembered it from last year, complete with Nick Nolte slumped against the front gate abusing arrivals. What a guy. He'd been on the piss since the morning of the Oscars of 1983. I parked Meg's Bluebird in the driveway, or flower bed, or pond, whatever. Then I noticed Edward Norton pulling up. Oh good, I thought. It's always good to see Edward at parties. It means you don't need to think about whose car tyres to let the air out of. We went inside. The place was happening. Gene Hackman was wrestling someone in a Judi Dench costume. At least, I think it was a costume. Mel Gibson was crouched behind the couch, shining a red laser pointer onto Laura San Giacomo's ass. Whenever she turned around, he dropped to the floor and pissed himself laughing. That's real wit there. Meg suddenly spotted Steve Guttenberg out by the pool. She grabbed a log from the fireplace and ran out to settle some old score. I didn't want to get involved. It was a good night. Something was bothering me though. Everyone was talking about that pussy Charlie Sheen. They'd all been duped by the media into believing he was some kind of hardcore partier. Let me set the record straight. No one's partied with Chuck more than me, and trust me, the guy's a lightweight. He drinks like a fish, for Christ's sake. And as everyone knows, to keep up with me, Hugh Jackman, the star of Baz Luhrmann's Australia, Van Helsing himself, you need to drink like a dehydrated fish on a hot day that's just had a particularly strong Vindaloo. And he stays up for days on end on drugs. Spare me. Anyone can stay up for days on drugs. That's so freaking piss easy. Try doing it on vast quantities of chartreuse. That takes superpower, Wolverine power, the prestige power, Kate and Leopold power. And chucks into all them powders. Powders, I mean really. I use powder to do me laundry. I put powder on me old fella after I've had a bath. And as for smoke and crack, that's the most piss weak of all. The only time I touch crack is when me finger breaks through the dunny paper when I'm wiping. Know what I'm saying? So there, at Alicia Silverstone's afterparty, I resolved to show them all what's what. I drank chartreuse, I partied, I afterpartied, I swung from the carpet and vomited on chandeliers, I danced on the roof and on the cake Susan Sarandon had baked. I stood on the shoulders of giants and on the shoulders of the guy from the station agent. I kicked Jackie Chan's ass, I kicked Robert Duvall's ass, I kicked everyone's ass, I left everyone for dead and tap danced as I gave their eulogy. All up, I made sure of one thing, that by morning's light, no one would be left with any doubt that they had been after-partying with me, the irrepressible, unstoppable, undisputed after-party world record holder, Hugh Jackman.
The Hugh Jackman Diaries.